In our experiment, we tested whether or not Coca-Cola can dissolve rust on a penny. Our first step was to research. We found that the rust on pennies is a chemical reaction that creates copper oxide. Next, we found that Coke contains carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, caramel color, phosphoric acid, natural flavors, and caffeine. After doing our research, we created a hypothesis.
We hypothesized that if we soak a rusted penny in Coca-Cola, the rust will dissolve off because the phosphoric acid in Coca-Cola has properties that make rust dissolve. This is a decomposition reaction.
Next, we planned the experiment. We gathered materials: 2 rusty pennies, Coke, a clear glass, a sealed container or a water bottle, and white paper.
We used an open container and a closed container to see if air exposure and how flat the soda became affected the decomposition. Our first step was to set up our materials. We took our water bottle and filled it with Coke. Then we took our open glass and filled that with Coke. We dropped the pennies in the Coke at the same time. Each check-in, we refilled the containers with fresh Coke. Then we recorded our first check-in at 3 p.m. It is 3 p.m. on March 2nd, and this is our first check-in. We have our open container and our closed container. Now we're going to fill both of them with Coke. We are sealing the sealed container. Now we are dropping the rusty pennies into the Coke. After we drop the pennies into the Coca-Cola, we notice an immediate reaction taking place. In our open container, you can see bubbles forming around the penny. Sealed container with the penny. You can see fizz forming around this penny as well. It has been 3 hours since the pennies were first placed in the Coca-Cola. Here's the one in the open container, and here's the one in the closed container. And what we are going to do is we are going to strain the Coca-Cola into a glass that we can see the progress that the pennies have made. So we are going to start with the pennies from the open container. Okay, and as you can see, they have gotten better. They are still a little bit rusty. So now we are going to strain the pennies from the closed container. Okay, and as you can see, this one has made pretty good progress. There's still a little bit of rust on it. And now this is the one from the closed container. You can still see that there is a bit of rust on it, but it has gotten a lot better. And same with over here, even though these ones have gotten better, they haven't made as much progress as the one from the closed container. And I think this is because these ones have been exposed to air more. So now after our first check-in, I'm going to refill both containers with Coca-Cola and put the pennies back in. So I'm going to start with the open container. And then I'm going to do the closed container. And now I'm going to put the penny in the closed container and seal it. And then I'll put both in the open container. Okay. So this is our second check-in. We have the penny from the open container and the penny from the closed container, and we're going to strain them again to see the progress. So here's what it looks like. This one has made a little bit more progress than the other ones because it has been in a closed container. And these ones, there is still, a lot of rust on them, but they have gotten better. Same with this quarter here. Still a lot of stuff on it though. So now we're going to refill both containers, the open one and the closed one. With Coca-Cola, and then we'll put the pennies back in. So this is after the final check-in, both the pennies. The one on the right is from the open container and the one on the left is from the closed container. So if we zoom in on the open container penny, you can see that all of the rust has dissolved and the penny is very shiny on both sides. And then in the closed container, you can also see how clean the penny has become. It's very shiny on both sides. Overall, the closed container penny worked better because it did not have much air exposure, but overall, the Coca-Cola did work to clean both pennies in both containers.